Welcome back to the Bad Games Cast. This is Alex.
This is Jake.
This is Jason.
And today we'll be discussing our most recent game. Use the term loosely. Ride to Hell Retribution on the Xbox 360. So let's talk about it.
Let's talk about how much I hate Jake for making us play this game.
Oh, I hate him an infinite amount. I have witnesses.
You know, it's really bad. It is really bad.
So what they describe it as one of the worst video games ever made.
A title it deserves.
Yes. Oh man, so let's just dive right into this horrible, horrible monster.
Hold on. Where are we starting?
I mean, I was just going to talk about the actual game.
Oh, okay.
Go through what happens, and then we'll deal with any bullshit later.
Yep, so what happens in the game?
You play as Jake Conway, a Vietnam veteran who returns, which is brought up all of, one time.
It's almost like it's just an excuse for his shitty behavior. That's the only reason you're a Vietnam vet. Or why you've been gone for so long.
Yeah, that does seem about appropriate. Also, he's got that sick-ass Army issue mullet.
Yeah, if you look closely, your knife holster says United States Marine Corps on it.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
I want to ask why you have a knife holster when you never seem to have the knife, but we can get to that later.
What's the name for a knife holster? I feel like there's a word for that.
Oh, probably a sheath, but...
Sheath.
I'm still going knife holster.
Knife holster.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're Jake Conway, you come back, you meet your uncle, and he's like, oh, welcome back. Here's your younger brother, Mikey. And Mikey's like, welcome back, big bro. And you have some touching, so many cutscenes that don't matter.
I want to stop you right here. You get Mikey's whole backstory, whiny, awkward teenager, in all of 3 seconds, which is more time than he needs. You get that. But I want to talk about the character models. Because I think it's important to paint us a word picture here with just how freakishly weird that these people look. Like Jake and your Uncle Mac, whose arms are the size of, I don't know, concrete barriers, and their hands are literally steam shovels. They're so ridiculously unproportioned, it's like Rob Layfield drew them.
Your hands are noticeably larger than your head. Like, your whole head could easily fit in your palm. And it's really freaky.
The one thing I'll give him is that Jake and Uncle Mac's arms are the same size. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, they're related. You can see it, I guess.
Well, I mean, everyone's hands are like that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Except for, are the women's hands like that?
No.
So...
all male characters have done forearm workouts every minute of every day of their lives.
So that is a design choice. For whatever reason, the guys that made this game said, let's make their hands huge and their forearms even bigger. I don't know why.
Which is great when you start, clipping through things because your hands aren't actually that big.
Do you ever stop clipping through things in this game?
No. I'm just happy when you don't clip through the floor.
Too many times my character got stuck on invisible shit and I had to reload a checkpoint.
Also, their faces.
The horrifying monstrosities described as faces.
It's like what they call faces is just a rubber mask that stretches awkwardly when they talk. So if you look too closely at it, it's it's horrifying.
Specifically when your character goes into that rage mode. When it zooms in on his face and he growls into the camera, it's comical. It's not the least bit intimidating. He's just growling into the camera and he makes an angsty face at you.
It looks like he's trying to take a hard poop.
Yeah. He needs a stool softener a little bit. And that's the first reference to stool softener for today. This episode brought to you by stool softeners. I can't think of a brand name for a stool softener. Somebody give me one.
Poopy
Don.
So, we're almost out of the first set of cutscenes, and probably through the first 5 or so loading screens. Which brings up another wonderful point of this game is how many loading screens there are.
This might as well be loading screen the game.
Yeah.
The load screens have load screens.
Okay. No, I took a tally and I ended up with 100 load screens before I finished the game.
I stopped counting before the first boss at 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't get better. It's just load screens on load screens on load screens.
Well, especially if you die.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet Christ, if you die.
When you die.
So, okay, now that we're through meeting most of the characters, you learn that your little brother has a crush on this college tutor, Ellie, and he wants to go to a concert with her. And Mac is like, no, because I'm the responsible adult uncle. And Mike is like, I'm an angsty teen, and rides off. So, great start.
Well, he asked Jake if he thinks he should go, and Jake doesn't care. He was like, yeah, let him go. What does it matter? And Mac's like, it's dangerous out there. Boo!
Which we'll get to later why it is actually dangerous out there, and Mac could have, I don't know, prevented this whole fucking thing. But, so, he runs off, and you follow him. And you end up in nearby different town, same town, kind of. I don't know.
Well, I think it's a different town because the town that you're in, you find out later, is all of one square block, and it's mostly abandoned.
Yeah.
Yeah, so is every town. It's confusing.
Well, until the end. Well, even, I remember the casino area, it was oddly abandoned. You know, the roads were just totally empty.
No!
I mean, so if it's supposed to be a living, breathing world, then they totally missed that. That's for sure.
There's models in it, I guess. You can't call them people because you can't interact with them and they don't do anything. But sometimes they're there.
It would make more sense if this was post Gold Rush California and everyone had fled than the 1969 that it's set in.
So you, as Jake, go off after Mikey.
Yes, so you get Mikey, and you're like, hey.
You get to fully appreciate how terrible all the roads are.
Yeah. And you catch up to him, and you're like, hey man, let's talk. You talk for a little bit about, you're like, hey, you like that Ellie girl, don't you? And he's like, yeah, I do. And you're like, yeah, whatever. I'm gonna go grab a burger, you stay here. So you go, I don't know, to get a burger from an unknown burger location, because they never show it. And these goons walk up to Mikey and threaten him. And
Were they hired goons? Okay, never mind. Forget it. Just keep going.
So
the goons...
The goons, they're like, hey, one of them, which is, I think, what's the...
It's Colt that first talks to your brother, who tells him to get out of the way.
Yeah. So Colt's like, hey, move the fuck along. And you come back and you're like, whoa, we leaving.
Well, no. Colt tells you to move, and then Anvil gets his sexy voice on, where he's like, you ever cut the ear off a calf?
Yeah. They squeal and it's hilarious.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's... No.
That's weird, and I need an adult.
So yeah, you come back to save your brother, and you're like, let's go. And then they chase you back to...
So, you basically, Jake says that they don't want to
we fucked up.
Yeah. And then when Mikey turns, they see your father's old cut that he's got on, which has retribution on it.
Yep.
And then Colt suddenly has, I don't know, some fucking weird memory. He's like, hey, where the fuck did you get that cut? And then Mikey opens his stupid bitch mouth and he says, oh, it was my dad's. And then they chase you.
So they had no idea who they were until he spoke up and said something?
Yep, up till they saw that cut on him, and then Mikey said that it was your dad's.
So, okay, go ahead.
I realized we skipped the part where they give you a wonderful introduction to the game. Where you...
Oh, shit, yes! The,
what
Flash
do you call it? Training
forward
stage
montage? Yeah.
Oh, because that was a shit show. They just throw you in there like, you're driving a motorcycle. Drive. Look, now you're on a turret. Shoot some dudes. Which I died at, by the way. And then you're suddenly driving in, and now cutscene, fight scene.
Jump a helicopter.
Yeah, and then, bam. 2 weeks earlier. So they give you this whole weird, like, flash forward before any of this starts. And by the way, they said 2 weeks earlier, and then in this scene we're talking about now, they chase you. They're like, hey, so who's your fucking dad? And you're like, it's Toledo Conway. And they're like, Toledo Conway? We're supposed to kill Toledo Conway and all his children. So they slit Mikey's throat. And you, as Jake, have the emotional reaction of someone who spilled something on himself.
It's so weird that you said that.
Yeah.
As I wrote down the emotional depth of dropping a soda.
Like, it seriously inconvenienced you.
Yeah.
And then they apparently shoot you, which is really hard to glean from the, like, just quick cuts that happen. So they shoot you and then leave you for dead. But you don't die, because you're the Terminator. And thus begins the Terminator destroying everyone.
The retribution in the title.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's why they call it that.
I just thought it because that was what your father's gang was.
Right. I mean, that would have made more sense.
So you don the jacket and you're like, right, they killed Mikey, time to kill them all.
Obviously, I skipped all the cutscenes, so I don't really know. Did they have any other reason, or is any other reason given for trying to wipe out your family?
Only at the very end.
At the end. Okay, so we'll get to that then.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
So, you start out and you get to face Anvil first.
No.
Well,
Anvil is the first one. No, he's the first one that you go after. But you don't start at Anvil. You have to work your way to Anvil. So you start because Anvil sells drugs, and you go to his trailer where you murder a guy by curb stomping him against the trailer steps, which is terribly rendered, but also horrendous at the same time because you kick him in the back of the head so hard that the metal step just tears his neck open and he just spews blood everywhere.
Yeah, this begins the theme of you killing people because they're in your way, and that's kind of it. Like, you walk up to this guy, assumedly you think he sells drugs, and you're like, hey, where's Anvil? And he's like, leave. This isn't your place. And then you're like, no, give me some answers. And some other guys come to, like, you know, thug you up, escort you off the premises, like.
Thug you up.
And you brutally beat all of them to death. Because when you punch people to death, you hit them so hard their spine snaps, and it makes some wonderfully gruesome sounds. So after you've killed all his friends, he's like, oh god, Anvil's, you know, he gives you a big, you know, clue, because that's all this game is. Go place, kill people, get clue, go to next place.
Yeah, wash, rinse, repeat.
Yeah, so then you're like, thanks for the clue, and then you murder the ever-loving fuck out of him.
It was at this point I was wondering, why is the music in the game so loud?
It's just really poorly mixed. Like, it does not.
And I'm sure I have it down here, but there's one point in the game where the music is so loud you can't actually hear people talking.
Yeah.
And,
well, I had the subtitles on the whole time.
I mean, I did too, but it's just like their vocal tracks were just like, not gone because I could barely hear that it was there, but I sure as hell couldn't make out the words. So, old boy tells you to go to talk to his drug dealer.
Yeah.
Out by the casino where you meet your first sex victim. I mean, consensual sex partner.
So you talk to someone, and then you hear this woman. So the guy you're looking for is in like motel.
Mm-hmm.
And so you go to the motel, and this woman is like screaming in like the front area, and there's a guy there going, "Hey." So naturally, I ran over and punched him in his stupid gob, and then his head exploded. But the best part was, as I fought him, like, he was doing okay against me because I was still shit at the controls at this point. So I ran away. So I was no longer in the motel, like, area. We were fighting in the streets. So I punch him, his face explodes, and then, bam, cutscene. I'm clothes on railing this girl. And I'm like, what just happened?
It's so uncomfortable. And the music here is even worse than it has been up to this point.
When it cuts in with that bad impression of 70s porn.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it wants you to feel like this is sexy, yo. And it's not. It is the opposite of that. It is horrifying.
I mean, is this supposed to be a reward for getting this far? Like, is that the whole point for these fucking scenes to be in the game?
Yeah.
It has all the arousal of drowning a bag full of cats in a river.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't know what that's like, but...
Hot.
I mean, they're fully clothed. You don't even really see them dry humping. Like, you know they are dry humping by the way their bodies are moving, but you don't actually see, like, their pelvis is touching or anything like that. Not usually, right?
No, they do the thing where, like, they have convenient camera angles to keep you away from it,
Yeah.
but then they don't make them naked.
Sure. And then, of course, you get the O-face at the end, which, when you mentioned the character models, combined with awkward sex scene and terrible O-face... It's something I ended up skipping outright every single time after this. I don't give a fuck if it's a sex scene or not. No. I'm sorry, that's going to set people back thousands of years to watch that and think that's how sex really is.
I watched most of them. I think there is 6 altogether. And after the 4th one, I couldn't take it anymore.
I watched every single cutscene.
No. God.
I almost died. It's a nightmare.
They put me to sleep. It's so bad. I couldn't do it.
Oh, right. So we get our bizarre sexy times on, and then it teleports you right back to where you were. So if you were standing where, like, she was, where the guy was trying to beat her up, maybe it kind of made sense. No, I'm back out in the middle of the street, just like, fists up. There's a car, driving by, and I'm like, what happened? So I run back to the motel. The guy, leaves, gets on his motorcycle, and you chase him.
Yep.
Ooh.
Anvil drives to the brewery, who he drives up to the gate, or the garage door in the back, where as soon as he goes in, the door closes, and Jake decides that there's no possible way he can get into this fortified brewery.
Correct. It's impossible to break into places.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, well, they closed the door, so they win. That's it.
Yes, but fate intervenes with a sexy mechanic.
She's so sexy.
Shit.
Her teeth are like 3 inches set behind her face.
Yeah, her mouth is a literal black hole.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Well, she's pretty used up, so what do you expect?
Well, she's about to be.
Ah.
High fives! Come on! I got it.
Good one.
So she starts off being like, kind of mean to you, like, what the hell are you doing here? Because she's pissed off about her ex-husband.
Yeah, but she also talks to you in a way that totally makes sense. The fuck are you doing back here? Leave.
Yeah. And you're like, what up? And she's like, sorry, I'm so mean. My ex-husband, he's stealing from me and squatting in my house, I guess?
Yes.
And so you're like, I can fix those problems. And she's like, sure. So she hops on your motorcycle and you drive to her house to go confront her ex-husband.
Yeah, let's go murder your ex-husband, because you know that's what's going to happen.
Well, she wants you to rough him up.
Yeah.
Which, before. So, this is one of the many point A to point B driving portions. It's most of this fucking game is just you driving on your motorcycle.
Right.
And, the roads are littered with shit.
Yep.
Constantly. And you have to make bad jumps or do power slides under semis, which are parked over the entire road for some reason.
Or giant tree logs. I mean, there's all kinds of shit you got to slide under.
But it's all the same.
Yeah.
This thing is blocking the road. Slide under it.
And there's times where even if you execute the slide perfectly, you still, like, if you're at the top of your head touches something, you fail. You got to go back and try it again.
So, what I had is, I think this is the first part where you have to slide under something where that semi, like, crashes, because of course it does, because the roads are chaos.
Yep.
And you have to power slide under the semi, and I go underneath of it, and I'm a little too far to the left, so one of the stands underneath the trailer catches the mechanic, so I slide out from underneath of it, but she stays behind.
She got snagged.
Which, of course, was insta-death and start over.
Mm.
Which, I love the motorcycle sections where, like, if you fuck up, it just teleports you backwards.
Yeah, but it still deducts your time. Like, it doesn't give you more time.
So,
you just lose ground.
So if you're on a timed section, you probably have already lost, and you might as well restart. If you're on a non-timed section, it's just really aggravating.
Yeah.
Because, like, you can clip things and still be driving forward, and it'll still teleport you back.
And the best part is it generally puts you right before you hit whatever messed you up in the first place. So there's a solid chance that you're just going to get in this shitty loop where you keep hitting the same thing because you don't actually have enough time to get out of the way even though you know it's coming.
Yeah, it puts you back like 10 feet. And like, here, try this again.
So you motorcycle there. It's awful. I hate the driving sections. Then you get there, and you're like, hang on, let me go confront your ex-husband. And you confront him by punching his friends to death, and then he's not dead until you talk to him, and you're like, I don't remember. You say some stupid shit, and then you punch him to death.
You say she's upset that he took the wedding ring because he was going to pawn it. Assumedly, I guess. I don't think they explicitly say that. That's just what I took from it.
Yeah.
He's still got the wedding ring, and you tell him to get the hell out. And, you hit him so hard that his eyes fly out of his skull.
Naturally.
Yeah. Because you punch so hard.
That's the way they do things in the military, I guess.
Yeah.
In Vietnam.
Nam.
They sending me. Vietnam.
So she comes over and she's like, oh, how did it go? And you're like, he's going to need a doctor or something stupid like that. And she's like, well, let me show you what a mechanic can really do. And then you go bone in her house.
Yeah, you step over his corpse for another awkward sex scene.
Just dry humping. No boning.
Well, yeah, it'd take way too long to take off her overalls.
Yep.
What's the rating on this game, by the way? It's mature, isn't it?
I don't know that it is. Yeah, I can't see it from here.
It's over here, I think. Jake will cut this part out in post-production.
Nah, he better cut it out.
Yeah, it's mature rated.
Yeah, it's mature.
Yeah.
So why the fuck aren't people naked?
I don't know.
God damn it. Give me something.
If it was some shitty half-porn game, maybe I would be like, okay, yeah, it's someone's weird way to get off. That's fine. Instead, the sex scenes are so creepy. I just don't understand. Why are they there?
Well, besides they're tedious, at least they're skippable.
Yeah.
There's no need for it. Like, you could, have a little spot where, you and sex victim go into, any place or near a bed and the screen just, fades to black. And then you get the idea. They don't have to fully render you having awkward sex with a pick female person.
Because that's what females are for. They're for giving you information or, an item and then boning.
Or for rescuing.
And then boning.
Just for the sake of boning. Yeah, that's it.
That's what women are for.
That's what they're for, right? Yeah. For humping. Dry humping.
Dry humping.
It's like we're in fucking middle school.
This game is great towards women.
Totally. Just ask prostitute number 2.
Couldn't even give her a name.
Why? You can't even give her you could look in a list of names and pick one at random and give it to your fucking bullshit digital character. But no, you can only give her a number.
Yes, prostitute number 2.
Is that how you did, separate her from prostitute number 1?
Yeah, we wouldn't want to get confused.
Because they have the same model?
Do they? I think prostitute 3 was a black chick, that's all I remember.
She was. Because prostitute 3 was the same black chick that you railed earlier in the game.
Right.
So, anyway, back to where we were. She then gives you the key to get in the brewery because she is their mechanic.
Yes.
So he was the foreman. And that's why you beat him up to get in. Whatever. You get a key to the place. You go back to the brewery.
No,
because you got to get a gun first.
Yep, you
got to
need a
armor
gun
up
before you get to the brewery.
because you don't have the option to shoot her ex-husband in the face. Because I would have, because that became my solution for basically everything. Because that's the solution they give you.
Yeah.
So you go to get gunned up, and oh man,
You talk to Mr. T.
Yep.
Tyrell.
Mr. T.
Yep.
And he's like, I knew your dad and know your uncle, so you already are in pretty good standing, but you need to prove yourself, so please kill 2 of my best guys. So you proceed to straight murder 2 of his best guys. You just punch them so hard their chests cave in and they die.
No, Kests.
Kests. So He's like, man, you killed those guys. I'll give you a gun.
Well, before he gives you a gun, you have to prove that you know how to use a gun. It doesn't matter that you were in the military and you just got back from Vietnam. Mr. T assumes that you don't know how to use a gun, and then you get to go to a firing range to test, it's what, a rifle?
Pistol,
and an SMG.
Yep.
What scores did you guys get?
I don't even remember. I only did it the once.
You got a B, B, and a C, because I was sitting there for him.
Okay. Not important.
I got C's across the board, because I couldn't shoot.
Well, I got, I think, 2 B's and a C. Might have been 3 B's. It was okay.
So yeah, you clear that. He gives you some shitty revolver and sets you on your way. Have fun with the murder.
Yeah, but from there, already you can tell the gun controls like garbage. It's so bad.
Yeah, the shooting controls feel like you offended someone. Like, there's no reason for them to behave like they do.
I don't know. I have not played, like, any game that has worse shooting mechanics.
Well, from what I could tell, it's like when you're first aiming down sights and you're trying to move, it's very kind of sluggish. And then the more you try to move, the faster your kind of like your reticle will move across the screen.
Yeah.
So it's very inconsistent, and it's hard as hell to aim like that.
It is both too slow and too fast.
Yes. That takes skill to make a game like that.
A nightmare. Oh, so now you've got your gun, and...
Killing power increased.
Killing power increased slightly, because we're going to go through this. You get to the brewery, and you run into your first enemies. And your enemies are the same the entire game. You've got Skinny Dude, you've got Big Dude, and you've got Jason Voorhees. And Skinny Dude and Big Dude come with some slight varieties with bandanas, cowboy hats, biker hats. I think that's about it.
Yeah, that's about it.
So that's the variety of enemies. And if you start out pistol and you just shoot people in the chest, you come to quickly realize pistols don't do anything. Unless you headshot them, then they die instantly.
Well, it's the same with all the guns that you get through the game. Not that there's a great variety, but it's headshots or nothing.
Yeah,
right.
You shoot someone in the torso, you're looking at 6 shots, like with the starting pistol. Headshot 1. There's no point in even aiming for their torso because of how many bullets it takes.
So as you're clearing your way through the brewery, you start at the bottom floor, work your way up to the top, and then back down because the game hates you.
Yep, the world's largest brewery in an abandoned town.
It legitimately felt like the brewery never ended, and I know besides the movement is painful, the aiming mechanics are a chore at the very nicest. It felt like so much longer than it probably was. Like, it felt like I was in there for a solid 2 hours before I finally got to the end of it.
Well, especially considering if you happen to die, you usually go back a very long way. You have to go back very far. The checkpoints are not, I guess, evenly spread out or fairly spread out.
No, because there are points of the game where the checkpoints are, like, super tight. Like, you walk into the next room and it's like, new checkpoint.
Yeah.
And there's parts of the game where it's like, oh, this entire level has no checkpoints.
Yeah, like if you like some of the boss fights even have multiple stages, and if you get to like a second stage of the boss fight and you die, you're going back to all the way to the beginning of the whole thing.
Yeah. Huh, so you eventually get to the top. The top is where Anvil is, but as Jake said, he takes the elevator down, so then you have to go back down. Then Anvil, your uncle shows up, but Anvil, like, blows past him, gets on his bike, and rides off.
Yep.
So your uncle's like, get on, we're gonna chase him. So you get on your uncle's bike, which has a machine gun on it.
Which led me to one of my biggest questions in this goddamn game. If your uncle has a machine gun in the sidecar on his motorcycle, why didn't you take the fucking machine gun with you when you went to the brewery in the first place?
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't the sidecar on the wrong side of his motorcycle?
It's on the...
It's on the left.
Or, yeah, it's on the left side.
It shouldn't be on the left. It should be on the right.
Generally, yeah. But
Yeah.
I mean, I think you can put it on either side.
I think you can, but
It's a bit weird.
You probably shouldn't, right? Unless you're driving in Europe somewhere.
Yeah.
I just thought that was weird. Because I found myself questioning that. Why am I on the left if I'm in the sidecar?
Because you're the main character.
Okay.
So, you chase Anvil and shoot his goons and him until eventually he loses. And That's it. Like, he crashes and
Anvil loses.
he's laying there. You come up to him and you're like, you left me for dead. And he's like, but we shot you. And you're like, yeah, but I'm not dead. Why'd you kill Mikey? And then you, like, shoot him in the face or something?
Yeah, he's like, I'm not going to tell you shit. And then you rage kill him.
Yeah. And then you're like, damn, I should have actually questioned him more. Because you're an idiot.
Shoot first, ask questions later.
So then you head back to your little home base.
Dead end.
It's got like 3 interactable things, a couple abandoned buildings.
Well, you've got
and the vagrant.
You got like the job board. You've got the gun merchant. You've got the drug dealer.
Yep.
The motorcycle shop.
Yeah.
What else? What else am I missing?
That's it.
That's it.
Okay.
And then go to your next mission. Yeah.
Yeah, just hop on your bike and you're on your way.
So, I have to say that the hub area there, even though it was only 4 options, was still more options than I thought it was going to be.
I mean, I was satisfied with it. I mean, what else do you really need from it?
Yeah.
I just thought it, like, I would have liked more if it was more compact. Just like, there's no need to make it like this is a town. Just make it like a building.
Yeah, because you do have to run like half a mile to get to the drug dealer and the gun guy.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't find the drug dealer for a while. Like, the first few times I was there, I didn't know he was there. Because a lot of times in this game, if you even stray off course a little bit, it picks you up and puts you back where you need to be.
Yeah, it does not let you go.
You cannot explore, you can't wander. It's like, no, you go here. So I was afraid to do that and go into this area thinking, well, maybe there's somebody over here. So I didn't know until I just decided to wander in that general direction because I had so many drugs I had to sell.
Yeah, so that's why I think they definitely could have compacted it. But overall, it is whatever. It's your little hub world to move on to your next mission.
You could have had one merchant who bought and sold guns and drugs.
Well, again, let's go back. There's no point to drugs.
No, as you kill enemies, they drop money and drugs, sometimes one or the other.
Yep.
And the only reason that you get drugs is to sell them to the drug dealer for money that you could use to buy guns.
Right.
Yeah. That's it.
Or manuals. You gotta learn more moves.
Oh, it's true.
And you can buy ammo, and you can buy explosives and shit like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
Which, by the way, those dynamite things, very useful at killing those Jason Voorhees guys. Because they take so many bullets to the head, because I guess a hockey mask will protect you from a gunshot.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
that's just science.
One stick of dynamite, man, those guys are fucked.
So the one thing I'll give the hub world is the motorcycle customization, which there was a lot more options than I thought there were going to be. And like, so I ended up with this sort of like spiky roadster. It actually looked pretty cool. I'll give them that. I wasn't going to slog through all the bullshit that you need to unlock some of the parts where it's like collect all the cards in the deck that you find randomly driving along through any of the point A to point B sections. But I genuinely liked the motorcycle customization. I thought it was really cool.
This is the one part of the game where I thought it was fucking awesome. I thought the amount of things that you can change on the bike was impressive. There were a lot of choices. Because the first time I'm looking through the parts that you can maybe switch out, I didn't realize that there were multiple pages to this. And if you hit the right or left bumper, you can scroll through some pages of things that you can change.
Yeah.
There are so many things you can customize on your bike. I don't know if it has any effect on the way it handles, and definitely the way it looks.
No.
But I thought it was awesome. I mean, like, if I wanted a game about riding a motorcycle and customizing it, then I couldn't have asked for more. And one other part that surprised me about the motorcycle customization was that is the only part of the game where the music is good. I thought the music, it's not repetitive. It's not that shit you've been hearing the whole time up till now. It's a totally different set of songs, and they're not terrible.
Well, it's like the title menu song that plays.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I like that song. Now, towards the end, because you spend so much time looking at it and then eventually hearing it, I was over it.
Yeah.
But up front, I didn't hate it. And then when I'd customized the bike to how I liked it, like I stuck with that through 3/4 of the game. It took me about a quarter of it before I got it to where I liked it.
Well, there's even a few bikes you can choose from.
Yes, there is.
Mm-hmm.
So, well done on the bike customization.
Yep.
I played that. I was shocked.
The only thing I didn't like about that is that you couldn't upgrade the specs on the bike, which you wouldn't need to anyway.
No.
Just with how the mechanics work when you're like chasing someone
Yeah.
and you get a nitrous boost, but when you use it, everybody else goes as fast as you do anyway because if you're on a
It's-
timer...
Not actually, like, you can't catch them.
Yeah.
You have to wait until it's decided that the chase is over.
I had no idea there was a boost until the end of the game.
Oh, same. I did not find the boost until I kept running into that goddamn helicopter.
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
I kept falling on top of the helicopter.
Yup.
And you turn into like a mass of gore and blood and your bike explodes.
Yep.
And then I'm like, there's a boost, and I had to look through the tutorial to find out all you gotta do is push up on the left thumbstick, and
Yeah.
you get this weird boost that, outside of that moment, I don't think really does anything else.
So, like, I knew that from the get-go, because as soon as you're driving, you can hit that boost, because I was just fucking around trying to pull off wheelies, and I was like, oh, I wonder what happens if you hit up, and you boost. I didn't know that when you finally get to that sweet-ass helicopter part, because I did it the first time, and you don't get to go back and do it.
Yeah.
So, I totally missed that. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I killed so many Jake Conways.
Yes, I
On
died
the
so many
helicopter.
times there, and most of the time it was on purpose, just because I wanted to see him get chopped up into chum.
See, like, the first 3 times, I tried. And then after that, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. No, fuck this guy. Driving straight into this helicopter.
It was awesome. You should fucking put the disc in and replay that mission, because it's the titties.
It's actually the best mission in the game.
Oh,
Of the motorcycle sections.
Probably. Yeah.
Like-
I mean, by default, I guess, because it's cool.
I'll talk more when we get there, but yeah.
Alright, we'll get through this shit. Let's talk
Okay,
about the good
so
stuff.
we have now killed Anvil. Great. Now
Yes.
we are reminiscing about the other 4 guys.
Yes.
So this opens up to the next 2, which is Meat Hook and
Greasy Steve.
Greasy Steve? Is it? I thought Greasy Steve was after Colt.
No, I'm thinking about somebody, as you murder Anvil, Greasy Steve watches you do it.
Yes.
Hiding in the bushes.
And then Greasy Steve intervenes in Meat Hook as well.
Yeah, because the next spot you go to is...
The next plot.
Colt?
Yeah, so this is where you get the option.
Okay.
You can either do Colt or Meat Hook next.
This isn't the only time where you have an option, though.
No, there's a few others where they
Okay.
give you 2 people. So you can do Colt or Meat Hook. I did Colt. Colt first, then Meat Hook.
I did Meat Hook first.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I did Meat Hook first also, because I was stuck on Colt for a long time.
Yeah, Meat Hook is the fighting. So Meat Hook runs an underground fighting ring.
Who's also Irish, Scottish,
Australian?
British?
Yep.
Yeah, so he's got the accent that flows with his sentence, which makes him an odd character. So he runs an underground fighting ring. You basically fight your way to get into it.
Yeah, you basically go up, say that you want to fight. The guy at the door is like, yeah, alright, we're always looking for fighters. Get you some. And then it just throws you right into it.
You just have a tournament. Like, you fight, like, 3 or 4 guys in a row.
Yep.
Aren't you in a boxing
Ring.
Yeah.
Okay, and that confused me too, because you're not boxing.
You're just murdering people with your massive fists.
Can you even... I thought you could maybe pull your gun out too. Am I mistaken on that?
I never was able to pull my gun.
Yeah, I don't
I don't remember, but I do know you could kick,
Yeah, you can.
and that was hilarious, because it's like I'm in a boxing ring and I'm just kicking this dude in the gut.
Well, yeah, especially if you got them up against the ropes or the turnbuckle, you could just kick them into oblivion.
Yeah, just kick him into the corner.
So, when it comes to the hand-to-hand fighting, you have 2 options, X or Y. X being the heavy kick, or heavy hit, which is supposed to disrupt their blocks, and it hits harder, I guess, on paper. I don't know that it actually hits harder when you're doing it.
Well, it's a little different than that. I wouldn't say X is a heavy attack. It's more like it's like a guard break. Because I don't know if either of you have ever played any of the Batman Arkham games.
No.
But this combat system is directly ripped from that. You've got the move with the X button that breaks people's guard. You've got the basic attack with A that kind of does nothing unless you've already broken their guard first. Then you've got the counter button. It's directly ripped from any of the Batman Arkham games. Just bastardized and stripped down. So, because there were instances where you could just kick someone for what seemed like forever. But if you were to use the A button to attack, you would eventually kill them. So, like, the amount of times I actually killed someone with a kick, they were very few and far between.
So, I was trying to pull off combos for my own sake. Eventually, when you get manuals, the fighting manuals, they do extra damage.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it seemed to me I was getting through enemies faster using both the attacks as opposed to just X.
Oh, it's definitely faster.
Yeah. There's a headbutt attack. I think if you just alternate X and A over and over again, he'll do a headbutt and it fucks people up.
Yeah. This is one of the parts in the game that I enjoyed, though, because comparatively to the rest of the boss fights, like, his stage is so different. One, it's quick.
Yes.
Fucking props to being succinct, but also because it's just a fighting tournament. Like, you don't have to go through a whole level of bullshit. You show up, you do the thing that you're there to do, you get through the goons, then you fight Meat Hook.
Yep, Meat Hook comes out, gives a rousing speech in a bizarre accent, and then's like, I'm gonna kill this guy. And he hops in the ring with you. Great. Go time. So then you fight Meat Hook. You punch him up a bit. You do a quick time event. You punch him up a bit more. You do another quick time event. And then from there, you punch him and knock him into the corner. And he's laying beat against the turnbuckle. And you're like, you're going to give me some information. And he's like, yeah, well, bleh. And there's a knife sticking out from his chest. Because he got stabbed from behind.
By Greasy Steve.
Greasy Steve axes him.
Why?
Greasy Steve is keeping the secret of the Devil's Hand, is the bad gang that's trying to murder you. He's trying to keep, I guess, him and the higher-ups of the Devil's Hand out of your sights because you are the Terminator. So he kills him before he can give you any information.
Okay. I guess the motivation behind killing all these guys is to get, like, revenge for your brother being killed.
Yeah.
So, what exactly are they trying to hide? Just the location of their buddies? Is that it? Like,
yeah.
I mean, you're not trying to take over their business. You're not trying to steal whatever they've got. You just want to kill the fuckers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, the guys that show up when they tell Mikey to get the hell out of the way, it's only 4 guys.
Mm.
Yes.
So,
it's Anvil, Colt, Meat Hook,
and Greasy Steve.
Greasy Steve. Those are the 4.
So, you don't know that there's anybody past that.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's more to it. They don't want you to realize that there's more to it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So, Meat Hook's dead. Great. Back to dead end. And that section was...
So, wait a second. So they basically just sacrifice Meat Hook.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They say, yeah, sorry, Meat Hook, you're dead, but we're going to act like you're, like, the top of the food chain.
Pretty much, yeah.
Man, poor Meat Hook.
Yeah.
What did he do?
Poor Irish, Scottish, British, Australian Meat Hook. Just wanted to fight to make a living.
No, that's why Meat Hook was, I think, my second favorite villain. We'll get to my favorite later.
Okay.
So then we've got Colt.
Fuck this guy.
So Colt, there's a whole winding thing. This is where you sleep with Naomi, the black chick.
Ballin'.
When you go to find Dr. Blotter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Dr. Blotter works for Colt.
Great name, by the way. Dr. Blotter.
Yeah.
That is an awesome name for a drug dealer, yes.
So, this is, I think, my favorite part. So, Naomi works at a bar, right? And you go to talk to her. And there's these, like, 2 guys drunkenly, slightly aggressively hitting on her at the bar.
Are they lumberjacks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, and as somebody that works at a bar, you would think that she's used to.
Yeah.
Like, that's what happens. And so you walk in, and you tell them to get lost. And they're like, we don't wanna. And then it gives you control of your character. So the first thing I did was pull out my gun and shoot him in the face.
Right.
Yep.
they fall to the ground, bloody exploded messes. Their friends run in, you shoot all of them, and then she's like, man, you're sexy. And I'm like, did you not just watch the actual murder rampage that went on?
I guess chicks dig a mass murderer.
I mean, that's true. Like, Manson gets a lot of letters from ladies who are looking for some...
No, stop, no.
Yeah, right. It's getting a little too dark.
Like, that's...
Not because she's black, either.
That is a thing, but... Anyway...
Isn't today double racism day?
It is double racism day.
You gotta work on it.
So, yeah.
Come on, do better.
It's all white people in this game.
Yeah,
Except for her.
Filthy crackers.
Her and her afro.
The black chick putting out hits on all the white dudes.
Her and her afro.
Moving along.
So,
More racism to come. Stay tuned.
She tells you Greasy Tom Petty is in the airplane graveyard.
Yes. That's where Colt is hiding. And then this is... I hate this stage so much.
This is the worst.
It is forever.
I was stuck here for days.
Hold on. Before you drive up to where the driveway of the airplane graveyard is. And then Whistler calls you, or your Uncle Mac calls you on your little radio. And you're like, shit, I can't get in. And he's like, sucks to suck, bro. And then you see a truck across the street. So you go murder the truckers. Yes.
Okay.
Murder the truckers to get their semi. And instead of taking the semi to plow through the fence, which I suppose is electrified, so you can't just climb it, you drive to the dam where the entire power grid to what you can assume is the tri-state area is set up. You proceed to shoot your way through to blow up this fucking entire power grid at the dam with your truck, murdering innocent electrical workers that are there and as many cops as come across your path.
I don't know, they're probably drug dealers or something. So
oh yeah, no. So this is where we really start to get in the Jake kills anyone.
Yep.
Anyone who gets in his way. Like, if you are a cop, a guy who works at the dam, a guy who drives a truck, doesn't matter.
But no women. He never kills a woman.
Yeah.
Not true.
Who?
We'll get there.
Okay.
So, you just, like, you are, I will kill anyone who gets in my way. Anyone. And you're like, why are we rooting for this guy? Our main character is just an awful human being.
I mean, he has the potential to destroy this small village that is already on the brink of disaster.
Yeah.
You are death incarnate through the entire game.
Yeah, but with super levels of angst. So.
Oh, yeah. No. It's not like you have any kind of redeeming qualities about you, or you're some awesome, powerful, brooding character. Like, people should fear you because you are death. You're like, I suck, and I'm sad that my brother's dead, and then people fight you, and you kill them all.
It's like the only reason to fear this guy is because he just doesn't give a fuck. That's the only reason this guy's intimidating. He doesn't care about getting caught, going to jail. He just kills all the cops anyway.
Yeah, there's literally no force on Earth that can stop you from your murderous rampage.
Not even those coked up police officers.
Yeah. So, wow, yeah, if that was that section, then you get through that, which was entirely pointless. And then Plane Graveyard, which goes on forever, and has a wonderful checkpoint system where the doors to the next area will only open if you've killed all the enemies. So you could bypass all the enemies. You could sneak your way around, but you couldn't advance until everyone died.
Now, at this moment, I would like to say how much I appreciate the fact that this game doesn't have infinite enemies. Because you see that a lot in games where guys just keep spawning in.
Yeah.
And you will only progress until you kind of just walk through the level to a certain point. This game, mercifully so, you've got, I don't know, a dozen guys to kill. You kill them, you move on.
I don't know, because I had it on more than one occasion where there'd be one guy hiding behind some stack where, like, he couldn't come around a corner, so it was just him glitching out right there. So I would murder everyone else, proceed to where I'm supposed to go, but can't actually advance because that guy's still alive, and then struggle for the next half hour to actually find him.
Because you're not sure whether there's someone still alive or you're just in the wrong place?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing telling you where you should go. So if there's any point where there's multiple paths, You're just SOL. You have to try and figure it out yourself.
Yeah, check them all. Hey, at least in that case, you get some cool collectibles.
Oh, shit! Those sweet red and blue decks.
It does reward you for exploration when you can explore. With playing cards.
Yeah.
With pictures of the developers on it.
And when you can't explore it, aggravates you and just teleports you back. Nailed it.
Yep. So, yeah.
So you go through the whole plane graveyard, and there's, I don't even know, there's like 7 checkpoints. It's way too long. Because every area is, go through the doors close behind you, that's a new checkpoint, kill all the people, the next set of doors open.
What difficulty did you play on?
Normal.
Yeah.
Me too. And some sections were hard as fuck.
Yes, they were.
Especially in this area.
Yeah, there's one where you enter, and there's a pair of dudes in a destroyed plane with turrets.
Yep.
And if you don't get behind cover immediately, they gun you down.
You mean that destructible cover that doesn't last as long as it should?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
And
we
it
need
hurts
that.
you when it goes down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes those fuckers can still shoot you through cover.
Well, yeah, because, why would your cover be a solid object?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. So Colt, gotta kill him.
Yeah, so you get through all of that, you finally get to Colt, and Colt is the same way. He's in the back of an airplane with a turret.
On a turret. Now, at this point, I had some trouble, because I think there's a few different ways you can approach him. He's sitting in I guess it's a fuselage.
Yeah.
He's got the turret, he's kind of up
Fancy terminology.
Well, I speak French. And he's sitting up there, on his perch, and of course there's other dudes around you. And you can go left or you can go right from the checkpoint, where the checkpoint drops you off.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, I tried going left, and I just kept getting overwhelmed. So when I tried going right, there's a few dudes you got to kill, but there's actually this little area where I don't think it's supposed to be there, where you can see Colt, through some cover.
Yeah, but he can't shoot at you.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can rail off a few headshots, and that's it. I mean, next section.
I found that the first time. I immediately went to the right. I found that little spot where he's shooting at me, but he can't hit me, and I just shoot him right in the face with that pistol until he drops.
Yep.
I died, I don't even know how many times. I went right, I died. I went left, I died. I went left again, I did better. I got through the first stage, died on the second stage. I ended up actually beating it I walked into the stage, he spawned, I pulled out my rifle and I headshotted him. Just right from the beginning, just bop. Because if you hit him twice in the head, you move on to the second stage.
Is this after you shoot him off the turret that you're talking about?
Yes.
I shot him off the turret from just right where you walk into that area.
Okay.
Pulled out my rifle, headshot twice.
Because getting him off the turret's the easy part. It's after that where I had a lot of trouble. When he retreats further back.
And you get the 2 Jason Voorhees motherfuckers. So, I didn't have that big an issue with it. The first time I ran up there, I just stood there trying to shoot them and they killed me. And then I looked at all the cover that was there, and I just went from cover to cover, taking bullshit pot shots, and drop the 2 big guys. And while you're taking cover, they destroy the plane around you, which drops and hurts you. But I would just sit there and wait for your health regen, and then move forward, drop one of them, wash, rinse, repeat till it was done.
The only way I was able to do it was just rush them and ignore the Jason Voorhees characters. Because at that point, I didn't realize that the explosives were so effective against them. And I'm sitting there trying to shoot them, I'm getting killed. And so I realized that if I just focus fire on Colt at this point, aim for the head, I was able to essentially outlast him. Because my health was extremely low. I bet if I took one more shot, I would have died here. But I was able to get that one last shot through to him, and mercifully, I killed him with it.
Well, you don't even have explosives at that point, do you?
I don't
No.
remember. I mean, probably not. So.
Because you don't get the explosives till you face Greasy Steve.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Because that's his.
And you get the RPG even after that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, okay.
So you knock Colt down, and then, surprise, because you saw this in your future glimpse, that was the tutorial, you shoot him a lot. You pull out a pair of pistols and just shoot him to death.
Yeah, you're talking
Bang, bang,
shit.
bang, bang, bang.
He's talking shit. You're talk. He tells you to go fuck yourself. You shoot him in the face repeatedly.
Yeah.
As you do.
Yeah. Hooray! So Colt's dead.
Thank God.
So then you get a cutscene of Greasy Steve and Leather Daddy. I mean, 666. That's the character's name, 666. Talking. Even though he doesn't introduce 666 till later.
Nope.
Greasy Steve is talking to him like, oh, Colt's dead, what do we do? And 666 tells him to shut the fuck up and take care of it.
666 like the ringleader?
Yeah, he's like the fourth rung down.
Okay. Continue. Because I've got questions later on.
Yeah.
Third.
So then, God, what's the Greasy Steve fight?
Well, first you go to the mansion.
Like, all of these levels blur together so much for me. Because this game is repetitive as all hell.
Yes. It never changes.
No, you drive from point A to point B. Sometimes people ambush you and you quick time event them to death.
Yep.
And then at point B, you kill a bunch of people.
With headshots.
Get some information, and rinse, repeat.
Yeah. And then maybe you get laid.
Yeah. Like, that's got to get thrown in there. Like, when do you go to the party? Is that Greasy Steve?
Yeah, that's before Greasy Steve. Because
Okay.
you're, I think, is it you chase him and you lose him, and so you pull off the road and some chick's like, hey, I want to go to a party, and you are like, yeah, I can get a piece of this. I'll take you. What up, girl?
Yeah. Okay, so then you go to the party, and at the party, you get your dick all kinds of wet, because it spawns you in, and if you turn around, there's another girl getting harassed. And you kill the dude, and bam, sex scene before you get to the party.
That's optional, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, 'cause I think I missed that.
I missed that one.
I missed, I'm pretty sure I missed 2 of the chicks throughout my playthrough.
I got the check mark, the achievement. I hit every sex scene. It was a nightmare. An actual waking nightmare. So yeah, you kill that guy, have another sex scene, and then you proceed into the party where you kill all the guys. And then there's prostitutes 1, 2, 3, 4?
Yeah, because there's the Devil's Hand at the party who starts shooting at you because you are Death Incarnate and they recognize you.
Yeah,
I mean, any sane person would be terrified.
at this point, you've killed so many people, I don't know why they wouldn't start firing on sight.
I mean, a mass murderer walks into a room, what do you do?
I would think leave
Offer
because
him a
you're
cookie?
unstoppable.
Well, if you got your homies with you and you're all armed to the teeth, you might as well try to see if you can take them down.
Yeah, so you proceed through the mansion, murdering literally everyone that you see, and then surprise murder orgy.
Because after you kill everyone, it gets the women all hot and bothered.
Chicks dig it.
Because that's good writing.
Yeah.
So, clothes on orgy, and that leads you... Greasy Steve is another race, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a motorcycle chase. Because he throws dynamite at you.
Oh, man. Yeah.
So, yeah, you chase Greasy Steve, he throws dynamite at you.
I remember there were instances where that dynamite felt like it was magnetized to me.
Yeah.
And then there are other times where it's like, where is he throwing it? Like,
Literally off the road.
Yeah.
Like, it would land in a place I could not be.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I don't...
That was the entire time. He never once hit me with that dynamite. Like, he would throw it, and it would shoot off like a fucking shooting star. Like, it was just gone. Not even close.
See, and sometimes he would let it go, and it would, like, fly, and I would, like, swerve, and it would just curve towards me and just, like, hit me.
Yeah.
And I was like, neat.
Like, there's
Homing
nothing
dynamite.
you can do.
Yeah, I'd have it where, like, he'd throw it directly behind him, and then, like, I would just drive over it, and 3 seconds later, it would explode. But that was the closest he ever got. Like, I never took any damage from that fucking dynamite. I got, like, killed from environment shit where, like, I'd miss where you're supposed to slide under something, or I didn't take a jump.
So he throws dynamite. You chase him down. He tells you about the next, like, which is crazy here. So you, like, get him down, and he spills the beans about how there's a hit order on your whole family, and then you blow him up with dynamite.
I like how you say that just so casually. Oh, there's a hit order, and then you blow him up with dynamite.
I mean, that's how casually this game treats murder.
Yeah, that's
Like,
true.
It's an everyday affair. So at this point, you have killed everyone who was there when, Mikey was killed and you were shot. But you decide, nah, Devil's Hand started this, Devil's Hand has to die. So, onward we go. This leads us to 666 and King Dick.
Yeah,
I killed King Dick first.
I did too.
Yeah.
At this point, I was wondering who the fuck is King Dick? Who
Right.
it's like feels like they just added him in to make it longer for no fucking reason.
Yeah, because Greasy Steve mentions 666. And then no one mentions King Dick. And so, like, you go to your bike and it's 666 and King Dick. And you're like, wait, who's this guy?
Wasn't there like a thong hanging up next to his name or something stupid too?
Yes.
Okay, and I was
Yeah.
like, hey, I want to see what this is about.
Yeah, so I was like, I mean, I've never heard of him. Clearly, I have to go here. So, King Dick sells drugs out of a church.
Yep.
I don't remember the lead-in because I don't care anymore at this point. I don't know, probably kill some people, go to the church, kill some more people to get into the church, and King Dick's having a party. And
Yeah, he shows his amassed goons a box with fingers in it because he's a fucking weird dude.
yeah, he's like, look at all the fingers of enemies I've cut, and you're like, you are a weird fucking dude.
I know any serial killer knows you take their ears, you don't take their fingers.
Yeah, nah.
Whoa. Any trophy's a trophy if you keep it.
So
Also, don't go upstairs.
he walks in, and you walk in, sorry, and he's like, who's that? Everyone, let's kill that guy. And he starts throwing dynamite at you. I don't know. That level wasn't too hard for me.
I didn't have any issue with that either.
Especially if you shoot him when he's trying to throw the dynamite, he drops it at his own feet.
Yep, I remember that. I was kind of surprised that actually worked. That
Yeah.
seemed kind of advanced for this game.
So, the first couple times I ran in there and I would just eat shit from dynamite. Like, as he would just superstar pass it to the fucking back of this church and I would immediately explode and die.
Mhm.
So then I would take cover and then I threw my own dynamite to murder all his henchmen, which also cleared out all the pews from the abandoned church. And then I just, like, ran up to, just like Colt, a place where he could throw dynamite but it wouldn't hit me and I could just pop shots on him all day.
See, here I had some really bizarre, I don't know if I want to call it hit detection, but there, I think it was the left side of the church, and there were some pillars that you could hide behind, and you could shoot at whatever this fucker's dickhead's name was from across here on the left side, but I had him throwing dynamite at me through my cover. It would come through the pillars of this church. So I'm constantly trying to roll around dodging dynamite because I had no cover here. So this fight was hard for me. I had nowhere to go.
Yeah. But eventually you kill him, and,
Eventually.
Oh, so this part brings up this, as much as I hate your character, because he is unlikable and murderous, and I, like, can't relate to him at all.
And his name's Jake.
Yeah.
Right? Every Jake's fuck.
Yeah.
100%. Like, I don't, like, he's so terrible. And this is the part of the game where I almost did not kill King Dick because it gets really weird.
Oh, right.
Because you drown King Dick in the, like...
The basin of holy
Holy
water.
water.
basin of holy water. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, where this guy who up till now has done literally nothing to you.
Like, that's because he's never been introduced. You know nothing about him, and you're like, you storm his castle, kill all his guys, and you're like, I am here to kill you. And he's like, I'm gonna kill you first. And then he doesn't, because you're the Avatar of Death. You kill all his goons, you get up to him, and you're like, give me the information. And, like, at this point...
Just so you're aware.
What?
We're over an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a fair amount that's gonna get cut. And
Yeah.
2 Worlds was really fucking long.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I just wanted you guys to know that we were over an hour.
So, you fucking... Then, yeah, you have a quick time event to drown him in a basin of holy water.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not about this. Can I just let him go?
Yeah, like, I would rather have just shot him instead of drowning him in the holy water.
Well, why waste the bullet if you don't have to?
I guess.
No one's going to use that holy water.
Yeah, it's probably filled with, I don't know, blood from severed fingers. You don't know what that weird dude was into.
Mm.
Weird stuff.
What's he doing with those fingers after he's collected them from you?
I assume pickling them.
pickled finger.
No.
So yeah, throughout the game, I slowly lost any kind of connection with Jake as being even close to a relatable character.
I mean, I even lost sight of the motive behind why, what we were doing and why. Like, I remember the brother being killed in the beginning, but the closer we got to the end of this, it just felt like I'm going to kill people, and that's the whole point.
Well, like, at this point, you've cleared through the dudes that you could even hold responsible for it.
Yeah, I mean,
They're
your
all
job's
fucking
already
dead.
done.
Yeah.
But now you have to kill the organization that bred this violence.
Yeah, save the town from their...
No. You have to kill the town
Okay.
to save the town.
Okay, and all the police officers, too.
I mean, the town's fucking dead. It's called Dead End for a reason. There's no one there. There's you, the drug dealer, the gun guy, and your uncle. That's fucking it.
Wow, what a future living there.
Yeah. So...
I mean, you've raped all the women already.
Pretty much, yeah.
Check. Next.
Oh, okay.
Kill all police. Okay.
So, King Dick dead. Now we're on to 666. 666 is a guy, and to get to him... he's the logging. Right. Because 666 is actually my favorite.
You have to go through one random logger German man.
Yeah, you go talk to him, and he's like, whoa, no one else here will help you, but I'll help you if you go get my drugs. And you're like, I guess...
Yeah, you agree to that because it seems legit?
Yeah, so you go get his drugs out in the forest, and you kill people to go get them, I guess. Who are also loggers, and you don't think you could have, asked them?
Well, no, you don't ask. You murder everything and find out later.
Right. So you kill all of them, you get his drugs, you bring him back his drugs, and he's like, you brought back my drugs. I need you to deliver those drugs. You're like, I guess. So you kill a bunch of cops, and you deliver the drugs. You come back. And when you come back, he's talking with some other logger dudes, and he's like, and I told that guy to deliver the drugs, and he bought it. Ha, 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 ha. Because I'm evil. And then you kill all his friends, and you're like, now you're going to help me. Because I did all the things you asked, and I will murder you.
Yeah, and then...
Then you head up through the logging.
Well, you still murder him with an axe.
Oh, yeah. After he's like, 666 is up there. And you're like, great, die. So then you go towards 666, and you head up the whole logging area, badoo-badoo-doo.
Yeah, you go through bullshit cover, and then you get to the fucking elevator with the goddamn turret.
Oh, that's this level!
And I don't know about you guys, but that took me 3 fucking hours to get through.
First time I tried it, I died for what seemed like no reason whatsoever. I'm pretty sure I got squished by something. Can the elevator fall on you?
Yes?
I think that's what happened. Because my guy just exploded into blood at one point. I was dead. Because it says you can't let the enemies, step on the pad that controls the elevator.
Yeah.
I think I let them step on it. And when that happened, I was just goo.
Yeah, it's like this giant... semi-parked side-by-side rectangle that you have to keep the enemies off of while the elevator so slowly ascends, and you get a turret which, as soon as you're 5 feet up, you can't aim down, so it's fucking useless.
Nope.
Yeah, so the pad that lowers the elevator, you can no longer aim at.
Yes.
Right.
So
unless you get off the turret and do it yourself.
Yeah, so if guys get on there, you start dropping again.
Mm-hmm.
Because it'll detect anyone standing on it. Which is great gameplay, because then, as you kill them, this is the one section of the game where there are infinite enemies.
Yep. Well, it's timed, right?
No.
No? Oh, it's timed in the essence that you have to get up and do that. So once you get up there, the enemies are going to stop coming.
Here's one thing I didn't understand. You're on a turret. This should be fun. It should just be you mowing dudes down. You got through this bullshit, fucking have at them. But no, it's still a chore, because... once you're up so far, and you can't aim down, and then you have to try and pick the dudes off with whatever you have. And this is where I kept dying, because I would get shot up there. So I'd work my way back up, and your ammo doesn't refill, so I was just out of ammo. So there's nothing I could do.
So you find the secret technique?
No. What is the secret technique?
Secret technique. You get on the turret, you mow down the first row of enemies until you're, a good small section of the way up. Get off the turret and go to the complete other side. So where, you end when it rises all the way up, And you just sit there and crouch. Because the enemies can't see you anymore, so they stop trying to kill you.
So do they stop trying to stand on the pad that controls?
Yeah, you just raise up.
I didn't know that. I got off the turret and just started shooting them manually.
Yeah, don't try to kill the people.
Oh.
3 hours.
Yeah.
It took me.
It's the only part of the game where not murder is by far the best option.
Wow. I mean, how are you supposed to know that?
You aren't, because every time murder is the just gravy option.
So what's up there when you get off the elevator?
So you get up there, and that's where the actual, log splitting is. So you go through a small area with a few dudes, and then you get up to the very top of that, and that's where he greets you with his chainsaw.
Oh my god.
And this is where you get to have the forced melee combat.
I hated this so fucking much.
I didn't. I liked this fight.
You can't do anything to him unless you counter his chainsaw attack.
Correct.
So you have to bait him into it.
He comes at you with his sick-ass dual chainsaw.
It was pretty cool looking, I gotta give him that.
Yeah.
You have a crowbar.
Right.
And all I did was, when he'd swing, I just dodge until... and then, when I would get back up, I just mash triangle. So you do this weird, jerky thing. Or not triangle, Jesus. I'd mash Y for the counter.
Come on, bro.
Yeah, let me drink some more.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would roll out of the way, mash Y to counter until he would start to swing again, and then I would just dodge again. I would be hitting Y when it came up to counter, otherwise I still had plenty of time to move out of the way. He hit me maybe twice.
Man, I done a lot.
I didn't have that much issues with it. I actually died to his goons more than him. Because as soon as I killed all those goons, yeah, it was easy to dodge his telegraphed attacks. Every now and then I would, when you kill all those goons and hit them the first time and then you go downstairs, I would come downstairs and there would be a guy standing, directly behind me already. And he would just club me over the back of the head. And I was like, where were you? And then, they stun lock you because they can do that to you too.
Yep.
And then I would die.
Well, that's only fair.
I mean, I get it, So, I died there a few times, but overall it wasn't too bad. But then, you beat him, and this is where he became eminently more relatable to me than your character.
Right?
Because you chain him to one of the log-splitting machines. Feet first. And you're like, give me the information. And he's like, here's the information. You're like, what? He's like, yeah, Pretty Boy is my boss. And Pretty Boy gets his words from Caesar. And they wanted you all dead. You're like, oh, okay. He's like, yeah, do you want money? Do you want drugs? I'll help you out, dude. Just don't do this.
Direct quote, anything but this.
Yeah.
It isn't even that he minds that you're going to kill him. Because that's whatever. Anything but this.
And your character's like, thanks for the information, money, and drugs. Blam! Turn on the machine and walk away. As you get to hear him screaming.
Well, look, if you're going to put someone through a wood chipper, you got to put them in feet first anyway.
Jesus. I'm with Jason. He lost 100%. As dude's pleading, literally anything but this. Please just shoot me in the face. Anything but this. And you're like, nah.
And I'm like, man, this guy is way more relatable. So, yes, you kill 666. So then he told you that he gets his orders from Pretty Boy. And you're like, well, how am I going to get to Pretty Boy? Well, the way to get to Pretty Boy is to get to Pretty Boy's woman.
Yeah, because Brandy...
Because she got big old tits.
Wants to move up in the ranks.
Now I know what you're talking about. I remember her. She's got black hair, right?
Yeah.
Another...
yeah, that's the defining characteristic of this character model.
She's probably my favorite female out of the game.
She's also the best modeled character in the game.
That's actually true.
She looks like an actual person.
They spent time to make sure you knew.
So she must be important.
Well, Brandy, she's a fine girl.
She'd make a good wife someday.
Okay.
So yeah, you to get to Pretty Boy, you impress Brandy. To do that, you do some some bike races. Great. They're bad. Without knowing that the boost existed, I beat them all in one try.
I got them all the first time through, and I smashed them knowing that the boost was there. The other racers weren't even close. I was lapping dudes by the time I hit that third lap.
Way closer for me, but still no issues.
Yeah, I didn't lap people. No. But, it wasn't that hard.
So I was like, I'm kind of surprised that, like, they make this whole racing section, but it was a joke.
It's nice to see rubber banding play in our favor for once.
It's true. If they raced ahead of you, they decided to slow down.
Yep.
Until you caught up and then inevitably passed them. So, the races were terrible. You win those, and she's like, wow, I'm kind of impressed. You know what? If you really want to impress me, go get this motorcycle that Pretty Boys had his eye on.
Right, from Minor.
Yeah, one of the miners.
Oh, yeah. And you have to go down there and get the headlamp.
Yep.
You ever notice that when you kill the guy with the headlamp, if you kill him from really far away, it just appears on your head? You don't ever actually have to go and pick it up?
No,
Because, there's like 2 miners just standing at the end of this long tunnel. One of them has the headlamp on, so I shot him from far away with my rifle, and then instantly the thing appears on top of my head. Like, alright, let's go.
I don't even remember getting a headlamp.
You have to.
Yeah.
Because it's really dark through a part of that section. You can't get through it.
It's the very first part. You have to get a headlamp before you get the dynamite.
Unless you just walk through the dark section, fumbled your way through it, which I guess is possible.
I do not remember a headlamp.
So, you show up to the mining operation, and the guys tell you to get the fuck out of there because they're tired of all the bikers and their dumb biker bullshit, and they're not putting up with it anymore. And Jake's trying to explain, hey, I'm not with them. I'm looking for this one guy. And they tell you to get fucked and then rush you.
Well, and there's something else I want to point out here. These guys they're all miners. They're all living human beings that do this for their...
Yeah, this is their job.
Okay.
This is their livelihood.
So, why are they down there behind these boarded up tunnels? Because you have to destroy some of the boards or some of the walls to get through the level. But you've got living human beings that are tucked down there, supposedly working in the mine, but why are they boarded up?
Oh no, it's
Are they trolls? They live down there?
They built the level without any decision for logic.
Okay.
They were like, there needs to be enemies here, so make some enemies.
Right.
Well, other than enemies, we need a couple other things to, put obstacles in your path. And so they go, well, throw some things that you have to hit with dynamite. You go, great.
But you can actually throw the dynamite under the barriers.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Could you really?
Mm-hmm. It just bounces under the little gap between the barrier and the floor, and then it just goes through the other side.
So this whole mining stage, it was the first time I bought the SMG.
Mm.
So I was excited to use my new weapon up until I actually started to use it because it's dirt.
It's terrible.
Oh. So I was just running through, just trying to rush guys, hip-frying with the SMG, which worked about 50-50. Like sometimes it was great where, they all run at you in a line.
Mm-hmm.
So I just lay on the fire and they would all drop. But other times, because you shoot so wildly, I might as well not had a gun at all because I was just wasting ammo and I sure as hell wasn't hitting anything.
Yeah, no, I never used the SMG actually. I used the rifle for the first little bit because it's what they give you first. But as soon as I got a shotgun, I then went to Gun Guy, bought the best shotgun they had and the best pistol they had. And that was my loadout for the rest of the game.
I fired a shotgun once. Other than that, I used the best pistol and the best assault rifle.
Because I found the pistol to be basically as good as the rifle, and then the shotgun mowed down people who got close.
I regret not trying it. I should have tried it.
That's what I settled with was the pistol and the shotgun by the end. Because, if they're running at you with the shotgun, you don't even have to aim. They're just close to you and they're gone.
Well, and I wanted to try the shotgun, but then I realized that it takes up your assault rifle slot. Yep. So I would have rather just kept the rifle. But if you think about it, it makes sense. Because like you said, the pistol is essentially a rifle unto itself.
Yeah.
So why basically carry 2 rifles when you could do like a pistol and a shotgun? So I should have done that. That's a good idea.
So we kill all the miners. We get the bike. We ride off.
Just to impress a girl.
We then take the bike to get armed with explosives.
Hold on. You go through the mine. The miner that you're looking for is not actually at the mine. You have to go to his house. Mm-hmm. He's having an argument with his wife. His wife, who's on the porch drinking. She's pissed drunk when you get there. He is sulking off somewhere. You, in this awkward attempt to seduce her, make her drink more until she passes out.
Oh, I'm pretty sure she's dead.
No, that's exactly my point. You kill this woman through alcohol poisoning.
Like, she just finishes that bottle of liquor.
Why don't I remember this?
Because
scene.
most of the game is unforgettable.
If it's in a cutscene, then yeah, I never saw it.
Is forgettable.
Okay. It's unforgettable.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
parts
the
of
best.
Parts of it are unforgettable because it is etched into the back of my mind forever. Those horrible, horrible sex scenes. I could never look at a human the same way again.
So he's dead, or she's dead. You go inside, you get the keys to the bike, and you get the bike, and you tear off out while he's yelling at you, my bike, blah! Mm-hmm. And it's at this point where you get the helicopter.
Oh, is this the helicopter scene?
Yes. Because this is by far my favorite stage in the whole fucking game. The chase with the helicopter on your ass that's shooting at you, and then you go back through the mines on the motorcycle. It is bombastic and fucking crazy. Just how you're going through these tunnels, and as you're going along, and like the floor drops out, and you just keep going, and it's apeshit. And I wish the entire game was just kept that level of crazy the whole time, because that was actually fun. Like, you're just going through fucking twisting path after twisting path. Shit drops out under you. You fucking suddenly hit a cliff and there's a goddamn helicopter right there that you have to jump over. That was fucking sweet.
As long as you knew to boost on that jump.
Other than them not telling me there was a boost, loved that level.
You get that real long pathway and you can see in a ramp up at the end. So I boosted before it even told me to do it. Like, I was ready for that shit.
Now, to be fair, this level was even more fun but if you tried it without the boost. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. I had a blast as soon as I saw him get chopped up into little tiny shreds.
So, no. That level was great.
Yes.
And then...
Good job, whoever the fuck made this game.
No.
Eugenics.
Do not...
Eugenics.
That's literally what I thought their name was. So, do not compliment them. They don't deserve it.
Aw.
They know what they did.
They earned their $6 an hour.
Gotta rub their face in that mess.
So yes, then this comes to be the plan. The plan of, you go to get the bike armed with explosives. Now is this where you go do the side quest for Mr. T? To go check on that guy?
Yes.
So you go check on a guy because Mr. T's like, look, he's also a veteran, and I think shit's going down. So you go to check on him, and he's selling a van full of weapons to the Devil's Hand. And you're like, you shouldn't do that. And the Devil's Hand shoot him and kill him. And you're like, well, I told him. And then you, fight your way out of the trailer park, and there is a trailer that explodes and kills you because it's the worst.
Oh, yes. I fucking hated that bullshit. That fucking trailer killed me more times than any other part of this fucking game.
So how it works, is you turn and you walk in one direction. And it does this quick little, cutscene of this trailer exploding, but the camera immediately switches to the other side. So you need to run towards the camera like it's some Temple of Doom bullshit as this trailer flies towards you.
It reminded me of Resident Evil 6.
And
you ever play that scene in the street where all the vehicles are exploding around you and you're running towards the camera? It's very disorienting.
See, I thought Resident Evil, as soon as the force camera perspective.
Yep.
But the timing on it is so poor that you will die. Just if you aren't immediately holding towards you, you're just fucked.
It only got me the first time. After that, I knew I just had to run to the right.
I could not get it. It took me so many fucking times. Where, thankfully when you die, you don't have that far to go before you're back there.
Right.
It's true. Thankfully that checkpoint is pretty forgiving.
But man, there was so many times where I'd run up and I would be just shy of the end where you need to be before the trailer would clip me. And the first couple times I thought you'd have to duck underneath the trailer. So as it exploded, I would roll into it where I would very easily go underneath of it if the game would have let me, but it just assumed I died right there.
You escape. Guy is dead. They have the weapons. You go back and tell Mr. T this. You're like, hey, I checked in on that guy. He's dead now because everything I touch dies. And he's like, well, this bike is all fit with explosives now. So here comes your brilliant plan. You give the bike to old Big Tits. I forget her name.
Brandy. She's a fine girl.
Yeah, come on now.
She's like, hey, great job getting this bike. She takes it to Pretty Boy, and you follow her. Ooh, with old Uncle Face. You're again in the sidecar with the machine gun. She pulls into Pretty Boy's mansion, which is the mansion you were at earlier, or, maybe you're not supposed to recognize that it's the same level? Don't know. They really don't cover this, because it's the same level.
Okay.
You pull in, and she gets off the bike and walks inside, and then you're like, alright, time to enact this plan. Shoot the bike so that it explodes. And you're like, as a player, wait, what? Why don't you wait for Pretty Boy to, I don't know, try out this bike that he supposedly really wanted?
That would make sense.
And then explode and kill him.
And then take Brandy for yourself.
Yeah. She's a fine girl.
Unlimited, clothed sex scenes with Brandy.
Yeah, so the entire point is for you to cause enough noise that the enemies will rush you.
Mm-hmm.
Not that the fact that you're on a mounted machine gun on a goddamn motorcycle wouldn't have caused enough noise if you would have just started firing into the house. No. You have to blow up this fucking motorcycle.
Yeah. The plan makes no sense. But you do it anyway. You blow up the motorcycle, they're like...
I disagree with that wholeheartedly, because this plan makes way more goddamn sense than that whole bullshit with the power grid.
Sure. This plan makes slightly more sense than depowering an entire county because you hate this one guy.
Right. And you don't even actually have to do that. You can just climb the fence, like you said.
Or ram the truck through it.
Or, yeah.
100 other ways you could do it.
Climb a tree and jump over.
Just wait for them to come out.
Yeah. So, you do that. Enemies rush you. You mow them down with your machine gun. Pretty Boy pops out. Vroom, drives away. You chase him.
Another one of those wonderful times where it's a timed event where you're supposed to shoot Pretty Boy, who, I'm still not clear on this, half his face is like melted.
Yeah.
Like, burn victim or road rash?
Burn victim.
Oh, yeah. He's Two-Face.
Oh.
They were like, we need a cool character. Two-Face is cool. Put him in the game.
Okay. So it's settled.
So, you chase Harvey Dent on your respective motorcycles. You eventually shoot him enough that he stops moving.
Yep.
But you don't actually kill him here. You just shoot him unconscious because that's how bullets work.
That's how bullets work.
Now, see, this is where I had probably my favorite glitch of the whole playthrough. I shot him a lot to the point where something happened to his character model, and he was basically upside down on his bike. His legs were contorted like they were like a spider. Like, his legs were bent in ways that they shouldn't bend. His head was like down through the motorcycle seat, and his legs were up and like this. And he's still hauling ass down the road on his motorcycle. And he stayed like that until he was killed. And it was amazing. I tried to take a picture, but I couldn't hold my phone and use the controller at the same time to take a picture. It was awesome. Weirdest fucking thing I've ever seen. And he was all like his limbs were all just long and contorted. Really bizarre. So
I had it in the following cutscene after you catch him, where his face didn't load. So it was just like gray mask.
That happened a lot.
Which eventually faded in, but it faded in scars first. So it was like fucked up half a face and then gray nothing.
Well, yeah, because it loaded one set of textures first.
Yeah, like one on top of the other. And I had that happen with women, where you'd have like this weird, like, just blank canvas of
faceless monstrosity.
Yeah. And then like their makeup would load in first. Yeah. So you just have like red lips on a faceless demon. And then maybe if you're lucky, the eyes will slowly start to come in. And it's just bizarre. Everything about the character models in this game is wrong.
Yeah. So you have him chained to your ceiling, and he gives you more exposition in cutscenes.
Skipped it.
Oh man, you missed some real choice shit here.
Yeah.
Did you know that your dad was dead?
I did.
Oh, because your character didn't.
Oh, I just assumed. Like, where the fuck is he this whole time?
Is it because literally everyone refers to him in the past tense?
That could be it, too.
Yeah, Pretty Boy's like, yeah, we killed your dad. And your character's like, what? No, he's just missing.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. So is it rage face time after that, now that we know he's dead? Like, what now?
No, not until Pretty Boy talks about how glad he is that your dad is dead and that your brother's dead.
And why did they kill your dad?
You find that out with Caesar.
Because Pretty Boy says it's because Caesar wanted it, so.
Yeah, Pretty Boy talks shit about your dead dad and your dead brother.
Mm-hmm.
And how he hopes he got his name spelled right because he's got a running list of names tattooed
People
on him.
He's killed or directly led to their deaths. Because, by the way, he does not kill your brother.
No.
Or your dad.
So, do you kill him?
Probably?
Because I know, the next part is you're talking to Mac, but I don't remember, what becomes of Pretty Boy just hanging out in your garage.
I don't know. I can't remember if you, dig a crowbar to him or you shoot him a little. It's vaguely.
Ah, right. I think that's right. I think you hit him with something until he stops talking.
Yeah.
So you can assume that he's dead?
Yeah. Same thing that happens to everyone you hit.
This is when you get Exposition Dump Part 2 when you're talking to Mac.
Yeah.
Who says that your dad beat the shit out of your mom, was a generally terrible person, and he lost your mom in a race. He left you with Mac, who you're not related to, but they went on the run, and then they died. I don't know if that conveyed the emotional gravity that the game has right here, but it feels about right.
It did.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's accurate.
They do make a point of saying that your mother wasn't cool with generally being sold.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's when your dad decided to bet her in a race.
So, I mean, strong female character who you never get to see and dies off screen.
Sweet.
Yeah. Now we get, you go to Mikey's grave, you and Mac talk, you get ambushed, you kill all the guys, you then try to retrieve Mr. T's shipment, but they get away. Or do you get it back there?
No, you chase him down and this is where you get it.
Yeah, so you get it back, but then when you drive it back to Dead End, Mac is a corpse.
Yeah. Before we get to there, we didn't mention it with the part where you steal a semi to take out the power, where every vehicle that you drive
has the same mechanics.
Yes, controls like you're driving the motorcycle.
Yep.
All of them.
So it doesn't turn correctly based on the vehicle of its size.
Yeah.
You start to turn and you barely do shit until you really mash left or right, and then you make a sudden just 90-degree turn out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of the vehicle that you're driving.
Which semis are known to do.
Yep.
You get the shipment back, but yes, you come back and Mac is dead. He is hanging from the ceiling with a note knifed into his chest. And you run up and just grab his legs. No! And he's...
he just hanged himself or something.
I fucking died laughing. Because it's ridiculous. Your character is playing this off I don't know, some bizarre tragedy has happened when, death has followed you everywhere you have gone. Friends, family, enemies, everything near you has died. And you're like, man, this is a shocker.
Should be used to it by now.
Well, you scream no, you ordered food at a restaurant and they brought you the wrong thing. Because he's just no.
And this whole time, you're going, no. You're just grabbing Mac's waist.
You're really trying to hug that dick right there.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then you sit in the corner and rock back and forth like a madman for what you can assume to be 3 weeks.
Sure, seems accurate. So you get the note, and the note says something along the lines of, I killed Mac, I killed your brother, I kidnapped Ellie, and you can meet me at the baseball stadium? What stadium was that?
Yeah.
Oh, it was under construction.
Yeah.
Some shit. Yeah, I think it was a baseball field.
Yeah.
So you're like, great, gonna go play some baseball.
And this place had some really weird spawns for the enemies for me. I had them spawning behind me here, which I don't think has really happened at any point in the game up till now.
You get there, and Ellie's not kidnapped. She's kind of just, hanging out, and then...
She's sitting in a chair.
Yeah.
That's kidnapped.
You get an exposition dump where Ellie is Caesar's daughter.
The longest expedition. Oh my god.
Oh my god, can we please just stop with the expositions?
More exposition!
No, you don't understand. Ellie is Caesar's daughter. Caesar loved your mom. And he was in the redemption biker gang with your dad. And they had a falling out.
And Mac.
Yes, and Mac. And this is where Caesar decided to start his own bike gang, the Devil's Hand. Sometime, your mom and dad are kind of garbage people. And
Well, your dad certainly.
Yeah. Caesar's like, look, I could be way better to her. You should bet her in a race, and I'll win her. Because that's how women work. Which, I don't know why she picked your dad, because, as previously mentioned, he's garbage.
Yeah, he beat her, which is established. He spent all his money out drinking and whoring, which is also established.
And then he agrees. He's like, yeah, I'll bet my wife. And then he loses. And Caesar's like, okay, I win.
New wife.
So your dad is like, fuck that, we riding off into the sunset. So he gets her, and they ride off into the sunset. And by ride off into the sunset, I mean Caesar rides them off a cliff. He chases them and basically forces them off a cliff, and they fall off a cliff and die.
Now, it's important to note at this point that you and your brother are born. Like, you're there with Mac. Like, that's who they leave you with when they drive off. They're like, have fun, we're up out this bitch. So, not only does Caesar decide that he wants your stupid mother, who is sticking around with your dad, who's a terrible fucking person, she's got 2 kids. Like, I mean, I guess she puts out. Like, isn't that what you could say about chicks with kids?
I don't know.
Man.
He already has a kid, so I suppose he'll take care of all of you, because that's what he'll do. Well, so he kills them, and then that is when Caesar decides all of Toledo Conway's family has to die. And at this point, he puts out the hit order on you and Mikey.
Not Mac, though.
Not Mac. How did they not find you?
Well, how old is your character when your parents go driving off a cliff?
Unknown?
So you don't actually see them? Like,
No.
Okay. I thought maybe you would see, like, baby Jake, like, standing there like, oh my god, what's going on with
See,
my
that's
parents?
kind of how they talk about it, but they never actually give any kind of...
I think, like, Mikey's a toddler, and you're old enough to remember this.
Okay.
But Jake is old enough to remember this.
So next, what happens?
So next, you fight your way through this bullshit and under construction baseball stadium. And it's at this point, I had some real fucking trouble with this place. Not the enemies, because I had to repeat it so many times. I was like goddamn Neo walking through this place with all the, like, explosives set up all around. So, like, I would just walk, hip fire, hit an explosive, kill all the dudes that were going to spawn there, go around the corner, wait a second for the guys to spawn in, hit another explosive, walk on in this sort of controlled chaos where everything was dying and no one could hit me. Mm-hmm. Up until you get to the spot where it's like a parking garage, where there's like the ramp that goes up and there's a bunch of dudes up top with RPGs that just shit all over me every fucking
They've
time.
got some real good aim with those RPGs.
Yes, they do.
And they give you a turret that's stone useless.
Also, it was at this moment that I realized you can actually kill yourself. You ever commit suicide in this game?
No.
If you use an explosive weapon and you fire it too close to your character, you will die. And the range on that is wildly inconsistent because I was using the dynamite sticks and I just tossed it kind of, just off in some general direction. And, usually if you get hit by some kind of explosive and it doesn't kill you, your character kind of stumbles around.
Staggers back, and then you're going to die because you can't control yourself.
And you can't aim for shit either after a while. But no, I mean, it just fucking killed me. My guy just falls over, dead. And it happened to me more than once.
I was legitimately hoping that there was, like, you could hold a button combination where you just put a gun in your mouth and blow your own fucking brains out.
Dark.
That would have been my gameplay. If I could have done that at every stage, I absolutely would have done it.
Truthfully, that's kind of how I wanted the game to end.
Oh, yeah. God, that would have been the perfect ending. After you've killed everyone, you just kill yourself.
I remember thinking, I hope my character dies at the end of this game.
What goes on? You go on...
You
get
kill
to that
everyone,
bullshit.
you get to... Caesar rides off on a motorcycle and you follow him. Great. Motorcycle chase part, who cares? You chase down Caesar. There's quick time events that are ungodly hard, because why would you need more than a split second of reaction time?
This is all of a sudden, by the way. I mean,
they were not nearly this difficult up until now. Now, they're crazy hard.
You got to really put forth effort.
You beat all the quick time events, you kill all the guys, you get to Caesar. You tell, because you've got Ellie on the back of your bike, you're like, Ellie, grab the bike. You jump onto Caesar's bike, you drive your thumbs into his eyes, and then jump off, and he drives off a cliff because he's blinded. And then you throw your lighter at him and he explodes.
Yeah, he and the motorcycle tumble down the cliff. He's lying pinned underneath the motorcycle. It's leaking gas. And you just look at him, whip out your Zippo, light it, and then toss it down after him. In probably my favorite scene in the entire game.
Yes. While his eyes are bleeding like crazy, by the way.
Yes.
It was awesome. And of course you had to have the obligatory explosion, too.
Yeah.
Well, absolutely.
Unfortunately, it was off screen. But I wanted to see him just blow up.
I just wanted to see him walking away, putting on sunglasses against the explosion. Yeah!
So then you assumedly get on the bike with Ellie and ride off into the sunset, cue credits, blah, 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 blah. Everything about this game is wrong in a nightmare.
Very startling credits. Like, it's just, bam, credits.
Yeah, it's just over. You win!
What happens to poor Ellie? I don't know. Probably more dry hump rapage.
Yeah, she's a future sex victim.
She's been sold now to Jake from Mikey.
Well, per Caesar.
Yeah.
Kaisar.
Kaisar.
So yeah, that sums up in a nice, neat, long time Ride to Hell Retribution, which doesn't even touch on how many things are wrong with this fucking game.
Anybody play the DLC?
No.
I'm not giving the money for that fucking bullshit.
It's only $4.
Yeah, $4 is way too much. Oh my god.
It's 40% of what you paid for it.
It is.
Do you even know what it is?
I know it's a long sniping montage.
Yeah, they give you a sniper rifle. There's some other stuff. I looked up the plot of it, but there's no way I was going to play through it.
Man, I feel like one of us should have bit the bullet on this.
Well, like Jason, I looked up what it involved. Because the first thing I did, after dying repeatedly, I don't know, pick a section, so I guess not the first thing, but I got tired of it, is I thought surely there must be a patch for this because it's broken. Oh, no, it was near the end where you're chasing Caesar and the quick time events come at you too quick to actually do anything about it. I plugged in the old Ethernet cable to see if there's a patch. Surely there's got to be a fucking update for this game because 2013. Nope! The only thing that it gives you is access to the fucking DLC.
So we're playing version 1.0.
Yeah.
Version 1.0 was good enough to distribute.
So why would they need to fix anything?
Yeah. Cash grab.
Yeah,
Right
it was
on
perfect.
point.
Seems like an odd genre of a game for a cash grab, though.
It feels like 8 hours longer than shovelware should be.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, you could have cut maybe half the bosses out, and then all the levels are just as too long. You could cut those down.
And all the A to B driving sections, which is a fair portion of the game.
So how long do you think it took you to beat the game?
About 10 and a half hours altogether.
I'd probably say 12.
Yeah, I think I'm right in the middle there somewhere. I mean, granted, there were times where I simply fell asleep playing this game, so maybe my time is a little skewed.
Not count it.
But
Jesus, mine might be longer. I don't know. I watched every cutscene through.
I did not.
It was bad.
Oh my god. Alright, so anything else you want to say about this wonderful gem?
What do I want to say? The controls are so bad. The graphics are... I guess the graphics aren't terrible themselves. They're not good, they're not terrible themselves, but the character design is awful.
Now, like with other games we've played in the past, this one's a little different because I can actually say there were moments of this game where I had fun. Some of the driving sections weren't terrible. I like trying to do the power slide as long as I possibly could. Take the power slide up and over a jump and do it in midair, and you're still sliding on something, who knows what. The motorcycle customization I thought was top notch. But, you compare it to a game like Two Worlds, I can't say I ever had fun playing Two Worlds.
Way more fun playing Two Worlds than I had this thing.
Yeah,
wow, really?
I legitimately like Two Worlds.
Oh, fuck you. Because Two Worlds is terrible.
There are parts of this game that I enjoyed. The motorcycle customization, certainly. I would have liked to have seen any way to upgrade your guns besides pick a tier and then buy that.
I was wondering why that was missing, because it felt like they kind of set that up. You've got a bunch of guns you can choose from. They have different stats. Why can't you alter those in some way or buy attachments?
Yeah. That's exactly how I felt about it. It feels like it should be there, and it's not.
Yeah.
The only driving... I didn't hate the racing. I would have liked to have seen more.
A little too easy.
Yeah. But I would have liked to have seen more if there was some more, like, spec customization you could have done on the motorcycle. I did like how, as you progress through the game, you get different pre-made motorcycles you can ride. Like Greasy Steve's motorcycle, which looks like an old World War II bomber. That thing looks sick as fuck. Mm. Like, I spent a couple levels just on that because it looked cool, and then I swapped back to... at this point, I think the bike I was riding was bright pink because your customized bike is in all the cutscenes, and it made me laugh so fucking hard.
Yeah, I mean, like, they could have even had, like, a racing mode, and put that shit online. There's your online game mode right there, just motorcycle racing.
Shit, or even just, like, couch racing. Some couch co-op. Do some split-screen bullshit racing.
Character selection screen. You can have all the prostitutes 1 through 3, and you can have all the douchebags. Sure. Opportunity missed.
So the game initially was announced in 2008.
Oof.
And then canceled. Oof. It was then continued to be worked on in the background, and then was re-announced and released in 2013. And I definitely feel like their vision for what the game should be is not at all what the game is. Like, they talk about, originally, in 2008, when they announced the game, it was supposed to be an open world game. I imagine there was a fair amount of stuff, like the gun customization. It feels like it should be there. Mm-hmm. And I bet you, originally, they planned on it, they ran out of time and funds.
That does explain all of the driving from point A to point B sections where they cut out the open world, but they still force you to drive it.
Yeah.
Because that would be so easy to just plop in there and consider that your segue to the next section.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, generally nothing's happening. It's just you're going from point A to point B to further the story, and a couple goons come out and try and attack you, and you easily dispatch them.
But if it's open world, you don't have to deal with all of the loading screens and just it dropping you in randomly.
Well, maybe there's a good point, too, is that there's some kind of issue they had with trying to load in an open world. And so they just said, fuck it, we can't get it to work, let's just cut it.
Well, for the finished product, I don't know why they would have kept that in. It just feels like any way to artificially lengthen the game. Like, you don't need that. It doesn't progress the story at all. So much of what there is there already. Why bother including it?
No, there's no reason to include most of the game. Look, if the game consisted of you kill, like, I don't know, 3 dudes, and that's it? That's the same, like, after the first boss fight, and after you kill Meat Hook, because his is slightly different, you've played the whole game. You have done everything that they have to offer.
My first impression of the character, Jake, I wouldn't have guessed that he would be a killing machine. I figured he was kind of a guy coming home from Vietnam. Maybe he's got a little bit of PTSD. He's not all there. He's got some emotional issues, and he comes home. He's got some family shit to deal with. But he's still, maybe not a criminal.
Man, that sounds infinitely more like a character.
Yeah, like he's just doing it to protect his family and to get revenge for that. That would have made sense, but no, it's just, no, man, fuck it. Kill everybody.
Yeah. I think by the end, you murder the amount of the entire population of Rhode Island. Like, you just murder literally everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when you are in either the semi-truck or the van of guns that you steal back.
He said semi.
There's cops who are, like, trying to block your path, and you just can run them over.
Speaking of which, did you notice the spike strips don't actually do anything if you run them over? I mean, you might slow down, but your tires are perfectly fine.
Yeah, you take damage.
Yeah.
But, it doesn't stop your tires.
Why would that give you damage?
Yeah, no, you take damage, which then you recover.
Yeah. It's like, my tires are fine, though.
Yeah. Spike strips ain't shit.
No.
Neither are cops. Like, they'll be standing next to their bike, and they'll shoot at you as you drive at them, and you just hit them and their bike and just run them over. And then them and their bike both separately go different directions and both explode, because everything explodes.
Yes. That's the best part of the fucking game right there, the explosions.
Yeah, that is one part I genuinely enjoyed. Anytime you're driving along and you kill a goon and they drop and their bike just randomly goes off somewhere and explodes.
You hear it behind you somewhere.
That is the fucking best.
It's like, yes.
Or you get that sweet moment where it veers in front of you and then explodes into enemies.
If they built the game as their vision, as this kind of open world thing, that could have been interesting. But as they clearly failed at that, I think they needed to go, as you said, way more bombastic. It's so bad.
Maybe this project was just a little too ambitious for what they had available to them.
Oh, I absolutely think so. I think that they shot for something big. And when we talked earlier, I made this comparison. It seems like they were trying to make Grand Theft Auto. They thought, let's make Grand Theft Auto, but with biker gangs instead of like drug cartels, and it's going to be set in this like deserty California in the late 60s.
Well, and 08 is right around when Grand Theft Auto 4 came out,
yes.
And that game had the Lost in the Damned expansion. So maybe that's what they were trying to emulate.
I legitimately think that's what they were gunning for, and they just were woefully outmatched by making this game.
Yeah.
Not enough money, not enough know-how or skill, you know.
So, overall, did you like it?
It is not the worst game that we have played. I've said that already. I would never play it again. I told you earlier today that I considered going for 100% completion, and I realized I've got a lot better things I could be doing. But I had fun in certain moments. There are other moments where I absolutely cursed my Xbox for turning on. There was that one night I put the disc in my system and it said the disc was unreadable, and I about threw a party because it's like I don't have to fucking play this. And then because I'm an idiot, I took the disc out of the 360, I wiped it clean, popped it back in, and now we're back to Ride to Hell Retribution. Not the worst game we've played. The bad just far outweighs the negative, the positive here. I mean, it's just, I can't do it anymore. Can't play it again.
See, I genuinely thought, if I want this experience where I'm sitting watching a biker gang, I will watch the entirety of Sons of Anarchy, a TV show that does the whole biker gang thing really well. I really didn't like this game. I thought there's stuff that they could do to improve it that would make it okay at best. It's never going to be a good game.
No.
The only reason I ever wanted to play this game is just because of how many bad game lists this game is on. And that's exciting. And it is deservedly so on any list that it's on, because it is not great.
No, it's not great. It's awful. I hate this game. This is the worst game we have played, and it's going to hold that mantle, I can foresee, for a long time for me. Oh my god!
Wow.
I would just set fire to everyone who made this game.
So, 10 out of 10 would play again?
Yeah.
Oh god, 10 out of 10. Just nightmare.
I mean, it's offensive.
Yeah.
And I'm not easily offended. This game offended me. I feel bad for women. And I mean, this game came out in 2013.
2013. Women are sex objects.
Boom. We're calling them prostitute number one. We're selling women into slavery, and the only reason the women are in the game is either a means to an end, to get to somebody else, or just to give you something to do. Go save her so you can fuck her. And I use the term loosely because I'm pretty sure they're just dry humping like they're 11, or however, whatever age people start doing that these days.
Yeah, brag about it.
Yeah.
Some of us were virgins till of our 20s.
Still a virgin, even with 2 kids.
Yeah.
3 kids.
What?
I know your secret.
Timmy's dead to me.
He was absorbed by one of the other fetuses.
Man, You're not including knuckle babies, right? Because
Oh, God.
man, clear out about 6 of them today.
6 billion? Wonderful. Well, we got the masturbation jokes in. We got some racism going.
Got some masturbation, some racism.
Sexism. Rampant sexism, as always.
I mean, I don't think we really got to double racism. We just throw in some quick, like, we appear to be in Southern California, so where were all the Mexicans?
Yeah, no Mexicans, no Hebes.
Okay, there was a Mexican, and he sold drugs. It was knockoff Danny Trejo.
Danny Trejo, yeah. Machete. No Asians. You know, they mentioned Vietnam, but thankfully there's no Asians in this game. And Asians made the game, though. So maybe...
They didn't want to put in their own racist stereotypes on, like, Two Worlds.
I get that.
Man, what other race can I offend?
I mean, you got
Arabs?
a lot.
No Arabs. They probably would have been killed anyway, you know.
Yeah.
Lots of white nationalism going on in this game. National socialism.
There was the, one black character.
Yep.
And then...
Well...
The woman, right?
There's Tyrell.
Ah, shit,
Got you
Tyrell.
your guns. And then Naomi, who you kill those guys and then bang. And then, not Naomi, prostitute number 4.
What if Jake is like a eunuch from his time in the war, and some of those zip heads over there, they just chopped his nuts off, so when he goes to have sex with all these chicks, he can really only dry hump.
That is more thought than I guarantee they put into it.
It's like two women humping.
Just scissors?
No.
Just
I'm trying.
pounding that pelvis.
So, next, what else? Anything else? You gonna buy the soundtrack?
Already bought it on iTunes.
Yes. Wonder if you could Shazam some of the songs.
Oh my god.
What's up, Shazam? We need sponsors. How you doing?
Taking all sponsors. Because I'm sure people would love to sponsor this.
Yeah, I just said the word heave.
Yeah, you're just casually dropping Heeb over there.
Well,
the only sponsor we're getting is fucking Breitbart.
Hey, I said taking all sponsors.
I mean,
Hit us up.
It all spends the same. And, you know, it is... is it Southern California? Is that established? That this
I mean,
takes
it's
place?
California, and you're clearly in the desert.
Yeah, it'd
Okay.
have to be Southern California.
Okay,
You
so...
have to be in SoCal.
you know, supposedly Jews rule Hollywood, so, I mean, you'd expect some Jewish people to be chilling in here.
I was wondering where else you're going to fit Samoa.
Okay.
And they're not, so, you know, it's a little unrealistic. And I don't know what else. I'm tapped out.
It's
Double
just-
racism day wears me down.
Yeah. But you got there.
Good.
We did it, guys.
I can't wait for this to get posted and all.
Hooray!
If anyone wants to talk to me directly about my feelings about the moneylenders that rule Hollywood, you can follow me on Twitter at 10RulesAll. Subscribe to me on YouTube, also 10RulesAll. I put up all kinds of good shit every once in a while. As you can see, I'm clearly funny, so, you know, it's worth it. Jacob, plug your shit.
I'm not following that. I was thinking how I was going to cut it, but I don't know.
Don't you dare. Don't bitch out.
Those money launderers and all.
Yeah, it's double racism day.
I got nothing.
Come on, pick a race. Pick a slur.
Pick one.
Pick a slur. Alright. How about those filthy bog trotters?
Yeah, old-timey.
You might have gone over my head on that one.
For anyone who doesn't know what that means, there's a Wikipedia list of racism slangs.
Okay. Anything else?
I don't think I have anything for this game.
Nothing you want to plug?
Oh, we're wrapping it up?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, you throw his plug out there.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, you can follow my not racist remarks at Jake Prey on Twitter.
Pussy.
I suppose you could probably find me on YouTube with the same name.
Yeah, you need to change that. First and last name should not be your Twitter or your YouTube.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? My identity's probably gone from Equifax. Thanks, guys. So fuck it, whatever.
Yeah, mine is, by the way. I think I told you that. They took my shit.
Yeah. Is it really?
Yeah. Not my identity, but my information was stolen. Confirmed.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, like an Irishman looking for potatoes, you can't find me.
Man, that's retro. That fucking 120-year-old Irishman you just offended is going to be leaving you all that hate mail. God. Alright. We're calling it?
We're calling it.
Alright. Thanks for listening to the Bad Games Cast. We'll see you next time for whatever the fuck garbage we decide to play.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.